your weather station, home of the live Storm Tracker Doppler. This is Fox 14 News at 9.
A majority of our public works employees are out with COVID.
COVID cases shut down an entire village. Thank you for choosing Fox 14. I'm Kyla Scott.
And I'm Stephen Pappas. CJ is off tonight. More on that story, but first on Fox, Governor Asa Hutchinson has declared a state of emergency in Arkansas.
Staffing at hospitals is a big reason why the governor made the decision. Hutchinson says the White House will also be sending the surge team to evaluate Arkansas's hospital situation and resources to see if there are better ways to utilize everything.
Anytime you're having staffing shortages in the hospital, whenever today we have, I believe it is 4 COVID patients that are waiting in ambulances to be able to find a hospital to go to, that constitutes an emergency and a public health crisis.
Meanwhile, Governor Hutchinson also says he will call for a special session next week to amend Act 1002 and allow school districts to institute mask mandates.
Hutchinson wants schools to be able to make the decision since children 12 and under are not eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine. Fox 14's Gabrielle Pfeiffer explains what this means for students and parents.
What has been a hot topic for weeks,
they should be worn at all times except for on the playground,
will soon be up for debate.
They have expressed to me that it's going to be a heavy lift to get passage of this in the legislature.
Thursday afternoon, Governor Hutchinson called for a special session to amend Act 1002 so local school boards can make their own decision about requiring face coverings.
It's a conservative principle to utilize local decision making, and not everything fits statewide.
Governor Hutchinson says he's concerned for those children who are 12 years and under who aren't eligible to get vaccinated. 24 kids are in Arkansas Children's Hospital with COVID. None of them fully vaccinated, and half of them don't meet vaccination requirements.
And that makes the point that they need to be protected.
Right now, masks are highly recommended in the El Dorado School District. Superintendent Jim Tucker says he knows parents are concerned, but staff will do everything they can to keep students safe.
We've been here before. We've done this before. We had success here last year, and my hope and prayer is that we have success this year as well.
And Governor Hutchinson says the special session is planned for next week. Reporting for your weather station, I'm Gabrielle Pfeiffer.
The governor noted that this amendment will not change anything for businesses, hospitals, or correctional facilities, nor will it impose another statewide mask mandate.
Meanwhile, the Office of Juvenile Justice here in Louisiana will begin limiting the number of visitors allowed on their campuses because of the surge in COVID-19 cases. The change is in effect until further notice. Family visitation was suspended Tuesday. Video visitations will still be permitted. OJJ says they will monitor any guidance from the state and from national public health officials to decide when visitations will resume. And COVID has hit the village of Shudrint, forcing the Village Hall to shut down.
According to Mayor Bill Sanderson, 5 of the 6 Village Hall employees have tested positive despite having the vaccine. Fox 14's Isabel Albritton has more.
A majority of our public works employees are out with COVID.
That's why the Shudrint Village Hall has shut its doors. In the meantime, officials have hired third-party contractors to keep the village running.
To handle solid waste, locates, dig, call before you dig, locates.
Meanwhile, Mayor Bill Sanderson will answer voicemails and handle water bills for homes. And he says the bills could arrive at your house a few days late. He also tells me since the building is closed, the number to call if you have an emergency is 318-768-4111.
Also, our 2 police officers are still well and working, so you can also call 911 if you have an emergency.
Locals say they're doing what they can to keep anyone else from contracting COVID in their community.
Concerned about the breakthrough cases that we're having with those that have even been vaccinated, but we're taking all the protocols and the precautions that we can here to avoid it here at our store also.
The Village Hall is expected to reopen on Monday, August 9th. The mayor says the 5 employees will remain in quarantine for the next week. Reporting in Shudrint, Isabel Albritton, your weather station.
And in news across the nation, President Joe Biden announced today federal workers will need to attest to being vaccinated or wear masks regardless of COVID-19 community spreads where they live. He's also asking states to give direct payments to vaccinated citizens. Biden's announcement does not apply to the military, and it becomes the nation's largest vaccine mandate affecting millions of workers. Biden also called on all state and local governments to offer $100 to people who get vaccinated going forward. The U.S. Treasury is offering to help states that participate, and President Biden has a direct message for unvaccinated Americans saying, quote, "You don't have to die."
Look, this is not about red states and blue states. It's literally about life and death. It's about life and death. That's what it's about. Pictures of hospitals in several states overloaded with patients is unnecessary, avoidable, and tragic.
The president also called the unvaccinated a problem to themselves, their families, and co-workers. The federal government employs roughly 4 million people around the country, up to 10 million when contract workers are included.
Well, new data from Pfizer suggests the efficacy of its COVID-19 vaccine drops after 6 months. The ongoing study enrolled more than 44,000 people who received the Pfizer vaccine or a placebo. It showed the vaccine's effectiveness peaked at more than 96% within 2 months after the second dose. It then declined gradually to nearly 84% within 6 months, decreasing an average of 6% every 2 months. That means the vaccine's overall efficacy over 6 months was 91%. However, the vaccine was 97% effective against severe disease, including hospitalizations for at least 6 months. It's important to note that the study has not been peer-reviewed or published in a medical journal.
And Louisiana turning off their extra cash for federal unemployment aid this weekend. Residents will no longer receive an extra $300 per week on top of the state's maximum $247 benefit. The state is ending federal pandemic unemployment aid this Saturday. The move will boot nearly 200,000 people off benefits and cut the payments to thousands more. Louisiana also will no longer participate in a federally financed program giving unemployment assistance to self-employed workers and gig workers who are ineligible for state benefits. Governor John Bel Edwards is ending the aid 5 weeks early in a deal with Republican lawmakers that will raise weekly state unemployment benefits to $28 in January.
On Capitol Hill, a bipartisan team reaches an agreement on a major infrastructure deal, which could bring money to Louisiana projects. Senator Bill Cassidy is on that team. He says the $1 trillion package will bring billions to Louisiana roads, bridges, and drinking water. The package will be paid for through unused COVID relief aid and other redirected funds.
There's $53 billion that is not being spent on unemployment insurance by the federal government. We're taking that $53 billion, and instead of spending it on unemployment insurance, we're spending it on this program. The money's already been appropriated and allocated. We're repurposing it.
Debate is underway right now, but the bill still can be altered in the House and Senate. Senator Cassidy says it could get a final vote by the end of next week.
Live storm tracker Doppler is quiet right now, but of course that is no surprise. After all, it is 9:09 at night, and there was a little bit of a small shower, but unfortunately the little guy is no longer with us. Just too much for the high pressure for the storms to handle this late at night. Looking at temperatures right now, definitely elevated. Ruston's still reporting at around 90 degrees, Monroe around 85. Definitely uncomfortable outside, and when you consider the dew points with that, of course we are having some heat index values in the triple digits. As you can see, Monroe around 102. You could even go outside at night for a walk and really enjoy yourself at these temperatures, because I'll tell you what, if you walk outside, you'll start sweating bullets in a matter of seconds. Looking at forecasted lows, we're looking at things not getting too low overall tonight, remaining in the mid to upper 70s. We're not going to have a whole lot of cloud cover, and winds will be relatively light, so lows will be able to at least reach this point, but not a whole lot of relief in terms of overnight lows. As for forecasted highs, as you know, the heat is here to stay and will be lingering with us for just a couple more days. You can see forecasted highs tomorrow getting into those upper 90s again. Some of us able to reach those triple digits. But at least in terms of temperatures for the next couple days, we could be having some relief coming soon in the form of a cold front, bringing rain and kind of knocking those temperatures down just a little bit. How does that sound to you guys?
I can't wait.
It sounds fantastic. I've had enough of the 100-degree and 98-degree days.
It's not going anywhere.
I know.
You have to stay tuned.
All right, thank you, Walker. Coming up on Fox 14, schools starting across Louisiana, but will there be enough teachers?
We'll have more on the shortages and how state officials are working to curb it.
And Walmart is paying it forward for its college-bound employees. We'll explain how. That and more on Fox 14 News at 9.